Good morning. I'm State Representative Amy Ellick from the 111th District. When we took the oath of office on January 13th of this year, it was a historic moment. The House of Representatives elected a new Speaker of the House who pledged to be open and accessible so we can all, quote, work together to solve the very serious issues in this state. Here we are with 45 days until session adjournment, and the Democrat-controlled legislature has failed to put forth any meaningful or substantive legislation dealing with fighting corruption, providing tax relief, and unfortunately, no plan put forth to adopt a balanced budget. In January, the Democrats demanded new leadership. They were tired of the status quo of one man controlling the chamber with his House rules. They demanded new House rules and committed to a new way of governing the chamber. Yet we saw those House rules barely change in ink. The fundamental principles of full control to one person continued, and Democrats promised that these rules weren't final, and the, quote, Democratic Caucus Working Group would be making or changing more rules. And on Tuesday of this week, members were distributed the House Rules book at the beginning of the session. So much for those changes. House Democrats broke their promise of working together and went back to their old ways of doing business by voting to suspend their own rules in order to adopt nearly 300 bills on the consent calendar, of which 73% of the bills approved on the consent calendar were bills sponsored by Democrats, and only 27% of the bills were sponsored by Republicans. Even more astonishing is the fact that out of 697 bills passed out of committee, 82% of the bills were sponsored by Democrats, with only 18% of the bills sponsored by Republicans. It doesn't appear that the House Democratic leadership wants to, quote, work together to solve the very serious issues in this state. It appears to be the opposite. Just more of the same, Democrats pushing their own agenda, conducting their business the way Mike Madigan taught them.